Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get started here. If you want to, you can get out your Bibles. I'm reading from the ESV. Kind of wake up, get some water. Ready to hang out for a little bit as we go over Proverbs. Let's take my own advice. Okay. All right. How you guys doing today, everybody? Welcome on this beautiful morning. Actually, it is beautiful. We had at the beginning of the week a lot of rain, so things were kind of damp, but it's been pretty nice and clear. There's something beautiful about having weather after the rain, like this fresh air feel, and it's kind of refreshing. Got a chance to stand outside in the air last night. It was kind of cold. Did some dictating. One of the things that I've been practicing is dictating, is reading from a script, right? I don't memorize. Right now I'm not memorizing, but I am going to start memorizing Matthew 5 if you're interested. Matthew 5 is a really good one to memorize. 5, 6, and 7, that's a Sermon on the Mount in the ESV. But today we're going to be reading from Proverbs 5, 15 to 23 in the ESV. And do a little study on this one. And if you haven't joined me for the beginning of Proverbs 5, which was started on day 17, you could look on that one and see what we talked about during then. This is about the wayward, the forbidden woman or the prostitute, in interacting with a woman that is not your own wife. Okay. So here it goes. Proverbs 5, 15 to 23. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be for yourself alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Let her breast fill you at all times with delight. Be intoxicated always in her love. Why should you be intoxicated, my son, with a forbidden woman, and embrace the bosom of an adulteress? For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he is held fast in the cords of his sin. He dies for lack of discipline, and because of his great folly, he is led astray. Yeah, that's right here. I kind of got fumbled for my words. Remember, I'm also practicing my dictating, because either I have a lisp or because of my ADHD, I kind of jump ahead in words and I skip and everything. So whatever the case, I kind of mess it up, flip words and all that kind of stuff. But if I focus and lock in, I could get it all. For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord. See, I could do that right now. But it's a little more comfortable when I'm doing it from a stream. And so this is kind of a little more comfortable. But when I kind of do it just so that I record it for the sake of posting it, and I'm going to put it on, I don't know, I'm put it on the Bible app. I think I want to put it on the Bible app as an audio. But I do want to lock in my voice because I know there's these professional dudes that read specifically. Either way. But let's go over this. Yeah, if you were not following, it's what in the world are... And what they're talking about in this whole first section, which I'm going to use probably right here. Drink water from your own cistern. Flowing water from your... Should your springs of water be scattered? So it's talking about where you... Actually, I should... Initially, without looking at any commentaries, it has something to do with spreading yourself out. And your responsibility is first and foremost to your spouse, right? God, spouse, family, work, that's the order. Yeah. And there's so many things that will entice. I guess the word that I read from a commentary is entice husbands and wives to go beyond their own household, because no matter what you do, you would always find a more beautiful woman or a more beautiful man or a handsome man or something like that. Like, there's no such thing as one. This is something that was in my youth. Someone told me was there is more than one woman out there for you. I know that you romantics out there is like, oh, she's the one. Yeah, God has one in mind, and I believe you're predestined for the person that you're going to be with. But I believe that you still have a choice. It's an interesting kind of thought to have. Is like, yeah, God knew that you're going to be with the one that you have right now, but I believe that God also knew that there was other women that could have been the one that you have been with. So before the future of having your wife happens, there could have been many futures that was a possibility, depending on decisions that you make. Because I do believe in free will, and I do believe that you had a choice. And in the past, looking at the different women in my life, I could have went many different directions, could have, but the path I chose is the path I chose, and here I am. And so, with that in mind, you will find women and men that feel or seem like a better option or enticing for that matter, right? And one thing that you also will know is that your spouse will be getting old. They'll get wrinkles, they'll get overweight. Like for myself, I remember when I didn't have a pudge on my stomach. That was my early 20s, but I have a pudge, and I do feel a little self-conscious about the pudge that I have, and so I try to make ways in which to keep myself away from that. But knowing that the same is true for your spouse, they're going to get bigger, their face is not going to look as young. Yeah, I looked at our pictures, like, because we've been together. This is our 16th anniversary, 15th anniversary. Anyways, I need to look back on that. Let me, and it's so bad. 2008. 2008. That's 16th. That's 2005. 2025. 15th. Third. I can't do math. Mathing's not good. Well, whatever the case, it's like 15, 16, whatever. Okay. My wife could tell me later. That stereotype is true for me. Men forget the important dates and stuff like that. At least I didn't forget her birthday, which I knew. Anyways, yeah, we looked really young when we were dating. When we first started meeting way back when, over almost 2 decades ago, we were young. Now we're getting older, and there'll always be new younger women, new younger men that look nice and strong and handsome and beautiful and everything like that. And yes, go ahead and admire them from afar. Don't lust. That's a terrible thing. But yeah, that they're not your wife. Okay. Let what you have be for yourself alone and not for strangers. Okay. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice. You see, this is the main thing. Rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. She will always be a graceful doe, a lovely deer. She is the wife of my youth. She is the one who grew up with me as I was learning how to be a man and be a husband. It's two very it goes hand in hand. Being a man in relation to having a wife, and being a husband, of what that means to be, of being connected with someone else. Because for couple decades, you're by yourself, literally. You may live with someone, you may have lived with someone or slept with someone or had roommates and stuff like that. But in general, we're living all alone until and there's something about marriage that kind of connects people in a different way. It connects differently. And this would be the wife of your youth. Like things happen, spouses die or divorce happens and stuff like that. But there's something very special of having the wife of your youth. I I don't know what to say, and this is not the conversation for now. Of the wife of your adulthood, what would be the wife of your adulthood? Where you fully formed, have been through relationships, and so yeah, that's totally different conversations. And it's the benefits the benefits of being in that relationship. Be intoxicated, feel let her breast feel like delight in her, be with her, meaning sex and all that kind of stuff. And being a conservative evangelical Christian of my youth, my youth is it's okay to talk about sex. Okay, it's don't hide it under a bridge. Let your children know about it. It is a God given gift, and it's wonderful in the confines of marriage. Okay, I'll say that, but don't hide it, saying that it's something terrible and it's sinful. Yeah, on the outs, and when you could sin with adultery in marriage, so it's it, like sex even when you're married is could be bad for you, with adultery and following the forbidden woman. But in your youth, before your marriage, yeah, you could go ahead and dream about it and stuff like that. And you marry when you marry someone, that's delight in that. It's going to be amazing. Don't tell your youth it's such a bad thing. No, tell them it's a beautiful thing that should be held toward marriage. If there's something special that you can go ahead and share with someone, it's sex for the first time with your spouse. And it is the most special thing that God intended for two people to share when they're in a committed relationship. So be intoxicated with that, with the wife of your youth. And he says right here, why should you be intoxicated with the forbidden woman and embrace the bosom? For the man's ways are before the Lord's, and he ponders all his paths. So this is where we should be. I'm going to put that in the yellow because that's the highlight. The iniquities of a wicked man ensnare him, and he is held fast in the cords of sin. He lacks discipline. See, look at this. These words: you are ensnared. You are held fast. The lack of discipline. See, these are negatives here. Led astray. So it is very clear here that. Oh, don't do that. All right, shouldn't do that. It's very clear that God wants us to have discipline, hold fast to things of wisdom and your wife. And look at that. It says great folly, his great folly for doing that, for following the wayward woman, his great folly for following the wayward woman. I'll tell you right now that it's no lie that she is probably amazing and enticing and can seduce you really well. Whoever this forbidden woman will be in your life, which might be many women, you know. In your workplace, you might meet a woman who's really interesting to work with. She's cool and it might be all innocent, and she might not even like kind of seduce you, but you could be put in a situation where it's not appropriate because you guys work together on a daily basis, so it's easy to build connections with people. So in your workplace, in sports, in your activities and hobbies, especially if it's social hobbies like climbing and I'm into climbing, so you could get social with climbing because you're hanging out with people, climbing with people, encouraging each other, and stuff like that. Climbing is a very social sport, and you could find beautiful people working out at the gym, beautiful people there who are interesting to talk to, and you guys have a shared experience. And so, in those situations, yeah, you could find the forbidden woman and adulteress. They themselves are not bad people, but you could connect with another person on an emotional level, which is you're committing adultery, kind of. There's nothing wrong with building relationships, but once you get to the next step of getting into your heart, then that totally is you're not you're basically drinking from other cisterns, scattering your springs is scattering your brocks. So you're sending out your heart to people, and you're grabbing onto other people's hearts, and that's not healthy, for sure. You don't want to be connected to another person, because they'll be connected to you. It would cause a lot of issues and drama and stuff like that. So yeah, don't be ensnared. Hold fast to who you have discipline. Don't be led astray. Those, because the forbidden woman in that kind of lifestyle will hold on to you, and it'll be hard for you. It will. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. We're going to continue on. I don't know how much longer we have for Proverbs 5, but anyways, this is a good talk. Hope you learned something and were encouraged. Continue to be with the woman of your youth. Rejoice in the wife of your youth. I love thee, dear, a graceful doe. I know I am. And we're not perfect, but we're trying really hard to learn how to be intimate, learn how to be a couple. Also, raising our kids. I have 4 of them. It's a lot. So I have to do this when the kids aren't around, early in the morning or late at night. It's early in the morning for now. So anyways, have a good day. I'll see you guys next time.